We are looking live over Seattle Stadium right now. That is where the action will take place tomorrow. The U.S. men's national team, it is going to be on fire on the field. Plus, we have a major storyline heading into the match. Forward Folarin Balogun will officially be able to play after having his red card reversed by FIFA. The U.S. men's star was handed the red card after the team's match with Bosnia and Herzegovina. His teammates spoke out on the situation, saying they're ready to take the pitch with their fellow star forward.
We're all happy for, we found out this morning, and I think for us just to know that we're able to have that kind of, guy to come in that has an impact like he has, knowing that we're able to kind of prepare, especially the day before the game with him. I think that just makes us even more confident.
He's been training with us. It's not like he went home. He's still around. We're going to prepare as we normally do, and yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
And now King 5's Dusty Baker is here to break this all down for us. Dusty, with Balogun back in the game, how does that change things for the United States?
I mean, you're talking about their leading scorer going into this match. So to be able to have that kind of impact, you were talking about maybe playing without your best player, your best scorer. Instead, you get your striker back in one of the biggest moments in U.S. soccer history. So to be able to have him come out there, it didn't look pretty for them early on with the chance to have to practice without him. Instead, you get your main guy. It opens up the field dramatically. And Madeline, I'll tell you this, when you look at what the U.S. is capable of doing now, Belgium's going to have to strategize just like any other team did, and you saw how that worked out for them.
Well, that brings me to this. Belgium. What stands out about that team heading into this game?
They go by the Red Devils. I think that's the starter right there. They're a very fast unit. When you break down what Belgium's been capable of doing, they have emerging stars and young talent. They're kind of a mix of that, if you will. They've overcome a significant deficit most recently against Senegal, a 2-0 deficit. Ended up going on to win 3-2. You saw what they were capable of doing against New Zealand, dominating, winning 5-1. So high-scoring team, very efficient. The U.S. has their hands full, Madeline.
Well, they're obviously going into this with a game plan. What do you think the U.S. needs to do to get the win?
You talk about the way that Belgium is able to attack, right? They rely heavily on speed. And when you look at the opportunity the U.S. has now that they have Flo back in action, they've got their guy that on the outside that can go forward. So it's going to be all about taking advantage of the counterattack, ultimately neutralizing the lethal, fast-paced counterattacks by Belgium. At the end of the day, you want to see the U.S. ultimately flip the switch on them, the Uno card, as you like to call it. And at the end of the day, if they can find a way on the other end to score goals late, that's going to be massive for this. It may be a high-scoring affair. I'm curious to see if that's how it works out.
Me too. And of course, anything can happen out there on the pitch. But regardless, we know these crowds are going to be just remarkable.
Right.
I've been down there in the atmosphere. It is electric. But tomorrow, this is going to be one of the biggest games in Seattle sports history. What do you think that atmosphere specifically for this game is going to be like?
Yeah, you're talking about a stadium that has a capacity of a little over 68,000. We're going to see that hit very easily. If you take a look at the Game Time app right now, Madeline, for one ticket, it's going for a solid $1,700. You can also get that for 2 tickets together. But expect those prices at least to go up. It's going to be a packed crowd inside, outside the stadium. And you kind of mentioned it right there. This is probably the largest game in any sport we've seen in Seattle sports history to take place in the city. You could talk about the Super Bowl. Well, that took place outside of the city. As far as what's happening within the grounds that are the city of Seattle, it's going to be incredible. The atmosphere, even better than what we saw when they faced Australia.
And we already smashed records for the Juneteenth match when they were here. So get ready, everybody. It is going to be a trip. Thanks so much, Dusty, for joining us to break it all down.
Exciting stuff coming up.
Well, you were just talking about the tickets, so let's give you a look at that. Oh, actually, just kidding. We're gonna get to that a little bit later. But for now, we want you to take a look at this World Cup guide. It's all waiting for you, and yes, tickets are on there as well. So just scan this QR code right here on your screen to download it to your TV and your phone. It's always free.